Good afternoon. I was told in a video, in a comment to my last video, that I need to smile more. Is that authentic? I don't really feel like smiling today, to be honest. I have not had a fantastic day. But it could have been worse. And the generator is not on right now. We had some rain, but now it's clearing up. Beautiful temperature. There was like 4 or 5 rose-ring parakeets that just flew overhead. And it's about to be that time of day where the light's just going to get really nice. And if I go down to the river, there's going to be probably a really dramatic post-rain sunset with clouds. So, not so bad. I'm making this video to talk about the supplements I take for mast cell activation syndrome, a condition for which I've never received a formal diagnosis. I will just say, without going fully into it, because I have talked about this in previous videos, during benzo withdrawal I had a flu for about 2 months that would not quit, and it was during COVID, so I was taking COVID tests all the time, and it was very distressing because it was on top of all of the other physical and psychological symptoms I was having during benzo withdrawal. And I finally spoke to a friend who she actually has been diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, and she was listening to me talk about my symptoms, and I had a constant runny nose, and I had a headache, and I had congestion and a tinnitus, and I even developed a cough. It was grim. It was really grim. And we were talking, and she heard my story, and then I told her about the getting off the benzos, and she's like, benzos are like a serious mast cell stabilizer. She could hear her jaw drop basically through the phone, and she suggested to me, why don't you try an elimination diet, go on a low histamine diet, and see what happens. The worst that happens is that you see no change. Okay. So I did it, and within 2 days or so, I saw remarkable relief, and my physical symptoms improved dramatically. And I honestly don't know if I had not had that conversation with her where I was heading with those symptoms, because I was just eating and living my life as normal, and I was just attributing everything to the benzo withdrawal. And I was like, oh, I guess this is just part of like the benzo flu, and I'm just, I just have to wait it out. And it turns out that the things I was eating and drinking were actually locking me into that state. And when I got on that elimination diet, this dramatic improvement happened in 2 or 3 days. And I still had a lot of other physical and psychological symptoms with benzo withdrawal. Don't get me wrong. It didn't stop like episodes of depersonalization, derealization I was experiencing and stuff like that. But it was a dramatic improvement, and I'm so thankful I had that conversation. Another thing we talked about, once I finished the elimination diet, it was really unreasonable for me to try to stay on that particular diet and get enough calories with where I am in West Africa. It was going to be very challenging with the access to food that I have here. So we talked about some different supplements. She shared her protocol that she uses, and I don't follow it to a T, but large parts of it I do follow. And I will make I will put a link in the description of this video, linking to. She's a really great resource page. But I'll just share the supplements that I've found to have the biggest impact for me. You can, if you have a lot of money, you can buy a whole shitload of supplements, much more than this, But these are the ones that I can afford and that have had the biggest impact for me. This is a probiotic that is specifically, the strains of bacteria in here are specifically tied to mast cell stabilization. You want to stabilize your mast cells because it's when they're not stable, they do something called degranulation, and that's when they release these chemical mediators like histamine, which give you all the physical symptoms. That's where all the problems start with MCAS. There's studies, the mechanism is not quite clear for these strains of bacteria, why they have this positive interaction with our mast cells, but it has shown to be effective. It works. And this brand, Seeking Health, I recommend for a number of other histamine, MCAS related supplements. I think they're a good brand. I'll save this one for last, actually. Quercetin. Quercetin, this is a plant-based supplement that is a natural mast cell stabilizer. It's one of the most potent mast cell stabilizers that we have. There is a very robust body of evidence showing what quercetin does for mast cell stabilization. And if you can get your hands on it, I recommend, this is partly from my friend as well, the brand Thorne, Thorne. I was able to, I had three times I had bottles of Thorne quercetin supplements. I think they are the best. It was also originally recommended to me, very well reviewed, and I saw very good results. This also as well, the quercetin, I'm not having a negative reaction or poor results with it or anything like that, but I'm also getting further and further from being off benzodiazepines. There could be some natural improvement in my MCAS now. I know things are less dire than they were when I first got off. I do need to do a little experiment, which I will be doing at some point this year, where I stop taking the supplements entirely and see kind of just where I'm at without any supplementation after being off benzodiazepines for more than 2 years. MCAS is normally a chronic condition. You have it for life, and it's progressive. With a lot of people, it gets worse. But because we are in this weird under-researched, under-studied world of benzo withdrawal, it's hard to say. It's hard to say actually what my situation is with having no formal diagnosis of MCAS, whether I just have histamine intolerance, whether it's something that is going away over time, whether I'm going to see some improvement. All I know is that I was definitely having major problems with histamine in the beginning of benzo withdrawal. The only thing that helped it get better was going on a low histamine diet. Then once I started taking the supplements, I was able to reintroduce things into my diet and kind of manage it. And I don't know where I'm at now. I have to do a little experiment. I will do that soon. Camu Camu, this is another plant-based supplement. It's probably the most, from what I understand, the most bioavailable form of vitamin C. Vitamin C helps your body produce diamine oxidase, which is the enzyme that your body uses to break down histamine. Histamine being the chemical mediator that's released by your mast cells that causes you to have a lot of disagreeable physical symptoms. You can also get diamine oxidase directly from, it's usually an extract, this is an animal-based supplement, from a kidney. A lot of times it's pig kidney. This particular brand I have here is Ancestral Supplements. This is big with like the carnivore crowd. I'm not on the carnivore diet, but this was the diamine oxidase that I had access to most recently. Before that, though, I took the Seeking Health brand DAO, which I would recommend first above all if you can get access to it. It's a little bit expensive, but taking that 10 to 15 minutes before a meal, especially a histamine-rich meal or a meal that's higher in histamine than what you would normally have, it makes an enormous difference. It basically primes your body to have a surplus of DAO, diamine oxidase, to mop up all of that histamine, that excess histamine that you're going to be dealing with. Curcumin, turmeric and curcumin. This is a natural anti-inflammatory. It's also a natural antihistamine. I would recommend Thorne brand, again, if you can find that. This is a blend of vitamin E here, a mix of a vitamin E supplement that also studies have shown vitamin E can contribute to mast cell stabilization. Vitamin D, I take this just for overall on the immune side, just to help out mast cells or immune cells. This is what I currently take right now. So that's that's seven different supplements. The cost of this was manageable for me. There are other supplements you can possibly take, and the cost can really spiral out of control. Some people you might find already this to be excessive. If that seems the case, I would focus on two: diamine oxidase and quercetin. If I had to pick just two of these supplements, if I had to get rid of everything else, those would be the two I would take above all to have on hand. Again, the diamine oxidase, you're not taking it all the time. You're taking it before a histamine-rich meal. It's not something you wake up and take it in the morning or something like that. I do also take an antihistamine. I take cetirizine, which is obviously less problematic than something like diphenhydramine.
I'm going to interrupt myself right here because most of what I was saying was gibberish, punctuated by enough ums and ahs to make me consider deleting this entire video. What I was trying to say is that antihistamines like diphenhydramine block and inhibit the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Studies shown that inhibiting this neurotransmitter over the long term is likely going to contribute to dementia and Alzheimer's. Anyway, it would not really be practical to take Benadryl daily, as you wouldn't be able to get off your couch. For the record, I take 5 milligrams of cetirizine in the morning and 5 milligrams of cetirizine in the evening. That's my antihistamine regimen.
I would take that over most of the others. And I take 5 milligrams in the morning and 5 milligrams in the evening. And that has worked out pretty well for me. But I will be doing an experiment sometime soon. I'm just trying to time it right. Life never gives you a good moment in terms of trying to plan something like that, when I could possibly have a lot of these physical symptoms come back. But I'm going to try to find a good moment in this next month, in the month of August, to try to do that, and I'll report back and let you know how that goes, being more than 2 years off benzodiazepines now.
Jesus, this video is annoying.
And hopefully seeing some improvement in this condition that maybe is not, with any luck, chronic and progressive in my case. That's all for now.
Thank God.
I'm going to go downstairs and contemplate how we can rescue this hotel and restaurant business. I hope you've had a better day than I have, but like I said, it could be worse. Have a look at our beautiful baobab tree over here. That's a baobab tree that is, I want to say 6 years old. Behind that is a mango tree. Over here you got another mango tree. And then there's this beautiful fan palm that we have right in front of the kitchen. And there's a little avocado tree down there that we planted during COVID. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Have a good one.